Raven Ronin just resubscribed for 2 months. This one goes out to all the feathered friends.
Thanks for the resub, Raven. 2-month streak, 2 months in a row. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It is a not Warhammer Wednesday Warhammer stream. We are going back into Darktide because a new character has released today. The Arbite. And I'm very excited. Very, very excited. As you can see, my room has been mobbed by ducks. There has suddenly become an infestation. I'm scared that they're breeding. I'm scared that they're going to take over the entire room and oust me as the leader of them. My mom decided, I believe my sister was also involved, after learning that I stream, that she would come in and decorate my room. So, you know, just. What's worse is it's not just here. It's not just what they can see. Top of my computer, they were on top of my monitors. There's one on top of my webcam. There's one above my other monitor here. There was some on my microphone stand. They've gone. They're on top of my TV. They were over my Pokemon stuff, my speakers, my router, my comic collection, my Warhammer gear, all over my Lego, and even on my window ledge. There is one that is out of frame. Infestation of ducks. Cannot believe it. Infesterized with them all. Right. I've yapped enough. I might seem a bit wincy today because literally, I'm just going to check it real quick. About stream keeps buffering. It's probably you because I'm streaming at 2K. I am streaming at the high resolution of 2K. So turn the quality down if you've got it set to auto. We are 2K now. I'm getting no drop frames on my side. I'm getting no encoding overload on my side either. Well done, Kip. Told you it wasn't hard. More complex than your setup because you've got a stylized setup. Me, it's just like generic text, generic text, generic text. You know? Oh. Literally right before... You're an IT guy. You should be able to figure it out. I'm dumb's not an excuse when it comes to computering. I expect more from you. Oh. I might have to go and get like something to put over my stomach. Might need a pillow or something. Oh. Look at that. Oh. High difficulty gameplay, Arbiter class overview, and Arbites lore. I keep calling it Arbiter. Arbites? I'm not watching a 22-minute video on this. I'm just going to play it. I'm just going to gun it. If it lets me play. You look warm? Oh, I'm very warm. I'm roasting. Something I'm going to do. I noticed this the other day. It's driving me crazy since I've spotted it. Move that over a few pixels. That's done nothing. I want you to move. Nope, too far. That's better. Let's fucking go. We find ourselves sat in hell with our horse, ready to Dark Tide some more. New character, new adventures. Hope you're all doing well. I've been very excited for this character. I would have streamed earlier, but I had to go and put a fence panel in, and in the process of doing that, dragged a stone panel right across the front of my stomach and have scratched myself up real bad. So, dealing with that one. Hence the jumper that I've just put across my belly. We are actually going to put the music of the game back on. We're not going to be listening to my own mix. Usually I would. Instead, we're going to switch back to listening to the music in game. Now, I've heard that there's some issues on Xbox for this. I don't know if there's issues on PC Xbox for this. There's also a lot of players playing at the moment for this new character. So, because they've done a big update to like how the story progresses. By now, I already have them. Let's see this. You are justice! The Adeptus Arbites enforce the Lex Imperialis, the imperial law. Utterly unforgiven, they persecute heretics and traitors throughout the Emperor's realm. As an arbitrator, you are the warrior of the Emperor's justice, prosecuting crimes against the Imperium with the disciplined zeal. Restore order to Tertium with your Cyber Mastiff and a devastating array of new weaponry. Arbites class feature breakdown. Command your Cyber Mastiff, a relentless cybernetically engineered hound. Your RVR is never far from your side. The Arbitrator's loyal companion and best friend will join you in the slay of lawbreakers. After you finish with customizing its name and looks, you'll soon have it fighting alongside you. The Cybermassive has its own passive target selection, which it will use to help you against anything that comes too close. You can also command it to attack a specific target, which will override any behavior of its own. To command your Mastiff, you simply double tap your tag input on any enemy that is eligible to be tagged. Let's fucking go! Your judgment. How will you enforce it? As an arbitrator, you have plenty of options when it comes to how you wish to play. Going from left to right in the talent tree, you will find a few prominent themes, from elite killing and cybermastiff handling, to hybrid combat and supportive utility, and lastly, crowd control and melee. Whilst the cybermastiff is iconic to the Arbites, if you prefer to play without it, take a look at the lone wolf talent tree, see below. Blitz abilities are grenades. Your base blitz is an impact grenade that deals high damage and staggers anything struck by it. Let's go! The Voltaic shock mine. Throw a mine on the floor that lies dormant until the enemy comes near. Upon activation, the mine shocks and executes enemies. Like that. Causes an electric explosion around your Cybermastiff's position. This deals damage, electrocutes and staggers nearby enemies. Icon to the Arbites is the Nunco Aqualia. Deploy it to create an area where allies regenerate toughness. Additionally, enemies in the area have increased damage taken. Ooh. So, Castigator's stance. Instantly replenish your toughness and enter the Castigator's stance for 10 seconds. During the stance, you've increased movement speed, reduced damage taken, reduced movement speed penalties from actions, attacking, bracing, aiming, interacting, or charging heavy attacks, but you cannot sprint. Break the line. Step forward and bash, causing the high stagger to enemies in front of you and inflict more damage for a short duration. So, unleash brutality. Your Cybermassive prioritizes elites and specialist enemies and deals more damage to them. Go get them. Your Mastiff prioritizes ranged enemies and deals 50% damage to them. Lone Wolf, you're no longer accompanied by your Mastiff. Gain 15% toughness damage reduction, attack speed, damage, 1 increased charge to your Blitz abilities, and replenish your charge to your Blitz ability every 60 seconds. This iconic can be taken with any other Cybermassive related talent. Naturally, we have more in store with auras and keystone nodes. Make sure to check these out in game. Sanctions wear many faces. Okay. Battle for Tertium, free updates. Lots of content there that I'm not going to read. With, QOL changes? What are the QOL changes? Max number of operatives 8. Let's go! Number of weapon loadouts to 8. I only used 2. And number of 900 new banter conversations. Yeah! And a special event. Streets of Tertium are aflame. Whether by heretic plot or overzealous imperial enforcement makes no real difference. Missions must still run, so be careful down there. You're literally dropping into a hot zone. Sick. Create an operative. Let's go. Where are we going to be from? Crucius, considered the second world of the Mobian domain. Crucius is a large shrine world and a popular destination for pilgrimages. An oceanic world, the population of Icon inhabits vast hive lands. Incron is the Mobian domain's main naval depot. Oh, we pirate. Small agri world that produces intensively farmed and mass harvested grain crops. They are the butt of many jokes, considered backwards by Mobians, and yet they are hardworking and honest to a full farmer. Thriving industry world is the most densely populated in the Mobian domain, teeming billions of constant spanning manufacturing. Okay. We've been a pirate. Our homeworld is pirate. Many of the cavernous void ships employed by the Imperium were crewed by countless faceless workers where humanity congregates. So void ship rat sounds closest to pirate. Survivor, militia lackey, hive urchin, tribune, volunteer for service, or Xenos invasion. We're a void ship rat. Beast handling classes are not without their danger, but there's no normal house pets. The cybernetic enhanced candidates known as cybermassives capable of tearing a full-grown man into two. Scholar leaning, top of the class, unchecked brutality. We are going to be Canid affinity. Defining moment. Let's see. We're part of an extraction squad. That seems very piratey. Also, third's going to be playing football game. Let's go. The number of people in the squad goes up. I don't think I have a black-haired character yet. We'll go with black hair. That's dumb enough to be a pirate. Facial tattoos. Penance. Purge. Penance. I like that. I like that one too. I want to be tall.
The Lex Imperialis isn't perfect.
What?
Perhaps it was in Malcador's time.
There can be no excuse for Lex break.
The Lex Imperialis is more than law. It is holy.
Let's go. It's dog time. Let's put this back on. He's the best boy. His tail goes when you move him. Oh my god, he looks gorgeous. Oh, wow. Locals call the area the Hourglass. Huge events in huge rent in the sky. Hive skin have exposed vast corridors and storehouses to the harsh autumn environment. Sand pulses everywhere and biting winds. Okay, no. Monitor activity with the water cartel suspects. We're secretly a pirate, or were a pirate, and we've turned. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Helene? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't even know how to pronounce that, taking it. Mastiff's name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chat room, consider this the first time I've ever played the prologue properly since they've updated it. Twice.
Sir.
You summoned me.
You have failed me, Ivan. All this time and still Atoma is not secured.
No one is more disappointed than I. There have been complications.
No more excuses. My time is running out.
So is yours.
What do you mean?
Atoma was always under Marshal Voltaire's jurisdiction. You have exhausted his patience. He has sent forces to restore the tithe.
You have failed your duty. We have all failed. Atonement will come only when the tithe is restored. We shall triumph in the names of our fallen, and of those who still uphold the Lex. This is the Marshal's command. This is how it shall be. This is the will of the Lex.
He doesn't have the authority.
He speaks for
This is the will of the Lex.
that is his authority. He will test you.
Do not fail me again.
When do they arrive?
They're already here. Oh man.
Right. So what's all this then?
What's all this then?
So this is the more.
1 second. Audio. Master volume up to 50%. Music volume up to 50%. We can pet the dog. We pet the dog. Oh, he's a good boy. Oh, he's a good little boy. Oh, he's such a good little doggy. He's a good boy. He's such a good boy. He's a good boy. Oh, he's so good. He's a cybernetically enhanced puppy. Let's go. Oh, let's go. This is the best. I get a puppy. Oh, I'm a puppy time.
Welcome to the meat grinder. Everything here may feel real, but don't worry. You won't get hurt. Not unless you anger Persephone. Don't be alarmed by my little puppets, but do shoot them, or hit them, a lot, with whatever weapon takes your fancy. They won't feel it. They're not real. They exist only so that you can learn more about me and about the weapons you carry. Stay as long as you like. Stephanie likes the company and the taste of your bloodlust.
Oh. Alright, Stephanie, let's go. Let's play with some new weapons.
Oh dear. I can see this.
I don't know what she has to say. I want to play with new weapons.
This is the Psychonium, a place of torture. I mean, training. Shall we start? You can chain light or heavy attacks in any order. Chained attacks have different angles of attack and damage properties.
Bonk. 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 Bonk.
Some weapons have a powerful special attack. Others have a special ability that changes their next attack.
Wait, that's how you do the specials? I've been using these weapons all the time and not known about this? Man, I'm dumb.
Pushing can stagger groups of enemies. Pushing requires stamina. Grenades can be equipped and thrown. Each class has access to different grenades. Your combat ability is a powerful tool for dire situations. Alerting your team to priority targets is very useful. You should try it. Dodging allows you to evade range fire and melee attacks. Enemy attacks initially damage your toughness. Once your toughness is broken, they damage your health. Additionally, enemy attacks will stagger and stun you if you Killing enemies in melee replenishes toughness. Each nearby teammate also grants toughness regeneration. That marks the end of basic training. You are now ready to serve.
Yeah, I understand how the rest of the game works. That ability with the sword, though, that's the thing that I completely forgot about. Like, weapon 5 or button 5 on my mouse revs certain weapons or activates the abilities. I've been using the blaze swords completely wrong this entire time. I was using them fine, but I was using them wrong at the same time. Chat, I'm incredibly excited. Alright, we're probably going to play from the beginning and do the entire campaign.
Are you prepared to bring judgment to this benighted world?
Oh, yes,
Good.
mission terminal.
Then report to the mission terminal. Our work begins.
Can I buy the other weapons yet? I wonder. Complete Battle for Tertium 1? Damn, I'm stuck with the gear that they provide me. That's fine. I can live with that. I dreamed a dream of the Emperor gone by. Well, one of the ducks just fell off the.
The mission terminal provides
above me.
intel concerning where our diligence is required.
Ooh.
We are few, and our strength spread thin. To prevail, we must fight alongside these rejects.
What you call me?
However distasteful it may be to do so. Restoring the Lex to Atoma means walking a long and dangerous road. It may be that none of us see its end. That is to be expected. Go forth. Atoma cries out for judgment. We shall provide it. This is the will of the Lex.
This is the will of the Lex. Campaign 1. Public. I wonder how many people are going to be playing this character with the dog. All of us. That's hilarious.
Right. Seeing as how you're new at this, I reckon the best thing to do is throw you in at the deep end. So enjoy. The heretics control the bulk of the transit movement.
Oh, I'm gonna be sending my fucking dog everywhere because my target is on my attack. Oh no, I'm gonna piss off so many people. Alright, it's fine. I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it. It's not a problem. It's only an issue if I make it an issue, and it's not an issue. It's not an issue at all. Oh.
We're barely holding on to this
What happened if I could
district,
type?
but today's little excursion should mean that folk can breathe easier. Kill one random heretic, nothing changes. Kill 1,000 random heretics, raises a smile, but that's it. But kill the right
Raises
one,
a smile, but that's
their
it.
operations to a screaming halt for a bit. We can use that. First up, head for the marketplace. You can splice into the train scheduler from there.
Oh. Paw Patrol. Let's go.
This way! Take them down! Connor!
We don't generally go in by the front door. Case in point, you'll need to use the ventilation tunnels to reach the market.
Return is not an option!
None can resist the Lex!
God, this is so good. The enemies just can't get near you right now.
If that's the maintenance bay, you're on the right track. Keep it moving. Work as a team and you'll pull through.
Go on, Death Grips.
Neutralize! Yeah, shotgunner!
Get here and run in. He's coming. Big boy's coming.
Cover coming in!
Oh, this is like so weird. Just walked through a level with the dogs. This easy.
In the event of a disaster. I can't clear you to proceed unless you're all in position. That's the splice point down there. Get the data interrogator in place and let it do its work. Leave all. They're unreliable and prone to needing restart. If that happens, one of you work on the fix and the rest watch their back. Got it?
Yeah, get him, Death Grips. Oh, this is gonna be so different. This game's gonna play so different with this character now. We have like so many more people about.
Nuncio Aquila set and running!
I can't wait to get my shield.
You got it! System 3!
This shotgun feels quite nice to use as well. Oh. Oh.
We fight on the edge!
Uplink back online! Well done!
Impeccable! Horse like me! Nuncio Aquila out!
You've almost got it!
It's crazy. I get it's probably on easy, but it's crazy how fast we're gonna blitz through levels with this dog now.
At last! Get the revised schedule uploaded and hope we can make up for lost time. Right, that's the easy part done. Next up, Chasm Terminus and our unlucky arch heretic.
The unlucky arch heretic.
In case you were wondering, so far I'm not impressed. Not one of you know Opus would last a day on Armageddon. Lucky for you, a time is a much softer billing. With a bit of luck, you might last long enough to be useful.
Shotgun! Sanction speaker deployed!
Can't you go any faster? We're going to have to toughen you up.
Demand your death, shotgunner!
God, you can literally just zoom through these levels. It's crazy. It is crazy. I need to turn it down a bit. I do know it is louder on stream.
Catechizer station.
Catacombs time.
Right? They'd have weeded out the heretics before this went sideways. It always falls to the soldiers to clean up other folks' mess. Fancy you, I guess. There's Chasm Station. Get yourselves inside.
Make ready for battle! And Malcolm's word!
God, the dog just rips.
We cannot return.
I get it's probably like an easy because it's like level 1.
The main event's still to come. I hope you're ready to fight.
Grenade! Ammunition!
This boss is gonna get fucking rinsed. He's gonna absolutely rip to shreds.
Into the teeth of the fray!
That's the platform elevator, so get down there and end this. You can't take the target one-on-one, so work together. Teamwork, got it?
Push up. Reloading. Your judgment embodied, Lexman.
Misappropriation of ammunition. Mandating. Come on, Craig! Bullet shield.
You
Dungeon
would only
seeker
waste it.
deployed.
Grenade out! Yes!
Recount my judgment.
All right. Maybe you aren't as useless as I thought. Time will tell.
Anything that cover will save. Weapons done.
Named his dog Bane. Cuz, good name. Good names. Oh, some good names. I wonder how many times I'm gonna run into full squads.
Could have gone tidier, but she got the job done.
Could have got tidier. That went smooth.
Lieutenant down in the dust has thrown the occupation of Kazan Station into disarray. Breaks my heart. Vanguard elements of the Moby and 21st are moving in even as we speak. As for you, seeing as you're still breathing, explicator Zola was the word.
I want to see the dog names. Is there an option to turn that on? Interface. Assists. Subtitles. Where is it? Name, title, name and title. Just name only. So should we better see other people's dogs' names now? I'm walking around. Courage. Oh, this is brilliant. Macaris, Edith, Absfolsaft, Teacher. This is brilliant. You can see the names of all the other dogs. Oh, it's so good.
An operative lives or dies by their weaponry, but the supply situation's dire, so we use whatever we can get our hands on. I've cleared you for access to the Armory Exchange. From there, you can requisition reconditioned weaponry recovered from the field. Be sure that you're always carrying the best that's available.
Rip it from their cold, dead hands and use it to kill more.
Looking for a specific weapon type? Put in a request with Quartermaster Brunt, or one of his servitors. What you get won't be top of the line, but it should cater to your tastes.
Oh, it will.
Reclamation Zone 15A. Assistance is available.
That's higher in every way. Acquire.
Sold.
Now. 215. 211. 214. We've got a 215 off the bat. Acquire. Any marks for this? Oh. Any cosmetics? Creating nothing that we don't already have. That's fine. We need to deck ourselves out. We got enhanced. We have a backpack, a Mobian backpack. We have our title. Oh my god. Wait, you're telling me I can get a jacket? The combat I'm already level 20 with the maul. Timed stun blocks, no. Damage versus electrocuted enemies, yes. Staggered enemies. Increase stagger on enemies by 6% on weak spot hits. Just increase range stagger hits, okay. Strength for 2 seconds on hit, same enemy, stacks 5 times. Up to 5% strength as stamina depletes. Impact, hitting an enemy gives 1 stack of 2.5 brittleness. No. Toughness on chained hits. I think we want Relentless Strike. And All for Nothing. So Relentless Strike and All for Nothing. Okay. Okay. 14% damage on second, third, and fourth shots and salvo sustained fire. Weak spot damage on second, third, and fourth. Okay. Gain 7% close damage after killing an enemy. Okay. Strength at close range. 14 for every pellet in an enemy that. 14% strength for 5 seconds when every pellet shot hits the same enemy. Damage against suppressed enemies. So I think we want powder burn. 10% damage and 10% movement speed. Elite or special skills lasts 4 seconds. 15% range up to 5 seconds after reloading. Melee attack speed for 3 seconds on hitting 3 enemies with a melee attack. No escape. Because damage on specials. Enemies knocked over by your Cybermassive Pounce have 8 stacks of bleed applied to them. Yep. Plenish 10% toughness instantly. And okay. Toughness on close kill. 5% toughness per second while okay, toughness per thing within 8 meters of my dog is great. So we have to do Battle of Tertium 4 for that. Penances.
Soldiers of the
get that out of the way
Blessed
now.
Emperor, I am Hestia Prime, a daughter of Messalina and representative of the Holy Inquisition. It is my solemn duty to stand in witness to your deeds and to record the penances you undertake. History shall remember the martyrs who fell in Atona's defense. May Saint Messalina walk ever beside you in the Emperor's light. Though it take a lifetime of blood and strife, Atoma shall be free.
Basically, she write down everything you do.
Through service, we atone for our sins.
This is gonna be fun. Right, next,
Ahoy!
Commodore's
I'm
Vestiges.
Commodore Hallowett, but you
What have we
can
got?
call me my Lady Alice, or oh, perfect mistress. Oh, and don't bother telling me your name, my darling. Your sort don't last long, so I won't remember it. Good customers, though.
Can buy the
That
coat
is
off the
different.
bat.
I might have one or two special items for you, if you got the Aquillas.
I can buy the
Don't
entire
tell me,
bundle
though,
off
you
the bat.
understand. Oh, and don't tell Rannick. Or do. I don't really care. Oh.
Let's go. Does the backpack look better? Or is it better with the blue? I think it's better with the blue. Oh, we look so good. And freebies, what can we get over here? Can we not do these yet? We can't do the freebies yet? Battle of Tertium 2 for the freebies? Okay, that's fine. I regret giving my character stupid hair now, but I'll live with it. So we're on campaign 2.
Remember, heroism is a poor guide to duty.
Tertium can't fight without a sustainable water supply. So guess what the heretics have gone after? The trouble's confined to a single silo, for now. The heretics are pumping their poison in from there. Get down there and deal with the demon, by any means necessary.
Any means necessary. Any means necessary. So many good boys and their owners.
An air of block fodder and eaten grapes. This will be a good hunt.
You stick around here, you'll see it can only get worse. Trust me.
Clearly, crime does not pay in these parts.
Head for the center of Ragtown. There'll be an elevator on the way.
Now, to deliver the judge of Kera's justice.
R2-D2, Alf, Bane. Oh, it's another walk-through level, isn't it? Yep. Get to waltzing, fellas. Thanks, Death Grips. Ooh. Oh, this is so cool. Just walking along and just hearing the dog savage someone.
Hungry!
Cold! Hungry! Oh! I'm excited to see a high level play of this dog. The number of tags going on because of the dog is so good.
suggests that some kind of demon is responsible for the disruption to the water supply. Radix will tell you that the creature lives somewhere out in the hourglass, and this is only a piece of its being. I'm not convinced, but be ready for anything.
Bomber reporting in.
Crackdown! 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 God, this last section's gonna be so easy with this.
Ammo to be acquired.
Bonk. 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 Let's go, Death Grips! Let's go! I get it's early difficulty, but it's still so cool. And fun to see the dog just dive on an enemy. Oh, this is fun. Yoink. Also yoink. The machine just like working, is to not get in trouble. Last growth. Fleshy rotters. God, there's just so many dogs. I wish it showed the name of the dog if the dog gets a kill. Like, instead of me, it'd be like Death Grips. God, we look crazy. We look so good.
It's starting to look like there's more to all this than some renegade guardsmen wielding a grudge. Not sure what those things were, but you can be sure it's going to be trouble. Still, clean water's flowing again, and you've given the heretics one in the eye into the bargain. We'll get the silo secured. Hopefully that's an end of the matter. I've cut you the necessary clearance for the commissary. You've earned it.
Oh. Woofy? Somebody else's master's called Woofy? Redmore? God, the Imperium has such a good dog problem. 2 points to spend. Just spend them. Get them out of the way. Same for the shotgun. Shredder pistol. Vigilant. The Vigilant auto gun. I'll pick up one of them straight. Oh, actually, I'll wait. Does he just spend 2? And then I want second salvo. Oh, it's better than what I'm using when I'm leveling. I've 1 to spend. Range damage. Remote detonation. Toughness damage reduction, I think. Because that then lets me choose which path. 3 charges, 60-second cooldown. Activates as it lands for 15 seconds. It will electrocute all enemies in a 5-meter radius. Oh. Well, I should have unlocked the freebies now so I can look at dog clothing.
Welcome to my little slice of retail delight.
They haven't got any freebie clothing for... No way. They haven't got anything? That's actually crazy to me. Nothing yet in the freebie clothing. Come on, Death Grips.
You have been a long time from Armageddon, Sergeant.
Have I? To be honest, I can't say that I've noticed.
Surely you yearn.
I will do as you wish.
No, I want the shock ball. I'll stick with what I've got for now because I won't be under scaling. It's not going to be hard to find a fourth. Come on, game. It really isn't going to be hard to find a fourth player today.
There's a vast cogitator array hidden in the torrent. The heretics use it for gathering intel, so let's exploit that. Security's no joke, but some of the ex-cartel, now Mobian-lackey gun hands, will have today's cipher idents. Soon as you're inside, feed the data package into the array. They'll never know what you've done until it's too late.
Back into the meat grinder we go.
I grew up in the torrent.
Whose dogs have we got? We got John.
But there's no escaping your past, is there?
Drown it all.
Who else have we got?
Nothing of value would be
Grim.
lost.
The inhabitants must scrape an honest living from the filth. Many fail.
If you can head to the bazaar, you should be able to scan the
Who else we got?
items.
Droppings. Is this dog's name Droppings or Drippings? Droppings.
Engagement protocol. Capo on Toro.
Nearly died in a place like this. Gunfight between two pillar gangs, and I got caught in between.
Recount my judgment.
No one step back. They shall all be judged. Get it! Ammo!
Reload warrant.
Neutralize! The battle is here, reprobate!
Welcome to Rhinetown, the crown jewel of the torrent, such as it is.
God, this really just feel like it trivializes like everything our characters have done so far with this.
Target down! Target the gunner! An arbitrator is never lost!
It really does feel like it trivializes everything our characters did before this point to just waltz through this area, 4 dogs in hand, and just rip. happen? Oh man, this is just silly. This story with 4 of these is just silly. I guess it's been like this for a while. Oh. Loyalists. They could put robotics into dogs, but they can't make the dogs speak too. Like, make the dogs go arf, bark, woof as they kill. You really just don't have to pay attention. Just let the dog do all the work with the little runs.
Patrol, here. All spec scan beginning. Remain in close proximity.
I have need of your weapon here!
There are answers in this place, but you will require your auspexes to find them. What are you waiting for?
Scans complete. Awaiting
I detect no further data sources in this area. Return to the survey staff. Cipher ID acquired. Proceed to elevator.
You're being watched. They'll attack as soon as you call the elevator.
Success minorities.
This is silly, the number of names. I'm loving this.
I trust these rejects are performing within acceptable parameters, Augustine?
Yes, at least so far. You can expect my full report later.
Excellent. A little light reading to add to the pile, no doubt. The Emperor protects.
Ammunition, Lex, mate. You require it.
The cartel's ragged king used to bring traitors out here and throw them over the side.
I'll go this way.
Get up, shotgunner! See!
God, they really did just steal the shotgun from Apex, didn't they? Oh, this is going to be wacky goofy on the bridge.
Retrieval site identified. Varlets.
Well, I was wondering how dogs are going to work with this, because our dog will just attack the other dog off us, surely.
Join the fight, reprobate!
Interrogator status inoperative. Memory reboot. Do not disrupt the flow of data again. Interrogator not responding. Manual override required.
I'll be fine, the dog's got it. I'm within 8 feet of the dog, and it's recharging fast. It literally doesn't matter. There's so many dogs near us.
All praise the Omnissiah. Uplink is restored.
Don't fear their firepower. Getting close.
I do wonder what higher level Dark Tide looks with this now.
Kill that puff bag!
Go to get personal, lizard. Revolting thing. Now hear this long sighted.
I can only imagine.
This is the sound of people getting torn to bits by the Mastiffs.
But it is now
Oh.
working. Data stream viable. Data pulled back online. You are not a complete failure. Well done, I suppose. destruction imminent.
You are judgment incarnate, next mate. Bring them down!
Looks like you did it. Moro owes me a drink.
Doo-doo-doo.
Launch your Aquila set and running!
All the good boys just sitting there. All the dogs just clipping through everyone as well. That's even funnier. Shock maul and suppression shield. Let's go! I get to return to the days of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Another successful mission. I guess Zola might have been right about you after all. The Walter cartel's certainly seen better days. No tears from me. Nasty fighters from what I've heard, so it's just as well we're not taking them on at the same time. Still, they can rest easy knowing they've helped us feed the heretics a bunch of bad intel. Should make things easier for us in the coming days. I can't argue with that.
Woohoo! Oh, we got a new penance that gets us a dog outfit. Let's go! We're gonna over there straight away. Look at these ogrins.
Speak to me of your accomplishments.
Mine. Mine. Right. Cosmetics. Loadout. Dog boy gets some armor. Even better. Masteries. Shock maul. We're wanting to level up Relentless. And we're also looking for All or Nothing. So, guns wise, shotgun. We're looking at Sustained Fire and Pushing Salvo. Oh. Staggering and electrocuting enemies. 15 seconds it will stagger, it will shock enemies.
Unit ready to serve. Purchase complete.
$8, $16, $24, so I'm buying them early. I can't look at curios yet because I haven't leveled enough to be able to look at them.
Yes. Can I be of service?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Purchase confirmed.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 221, 224. 5, 4, 11, 9. Okay, so everything else that's not favorited. So we're going to switch that from 204 to that. And everything else is going to be discarded then. So we get to keep a shield for him already. And then shotguns wise, 905 is the highest we got. What's next then? If you require Medicaid attention, the range we've got: exploding dogs, shock traps, everything.
Identified a target that wants eliminating. The target's turned an enforcer station into a private bolt hole. Ironic or what? Go in through the sewers, find your way up to the streets, execute the target, don't let me down.
Come on, puppies, it's time.
We shall arise from this filth and deliver judgment upon the deserving.
At least the heretics won't see you coming.
Not streets to walk lightly.
You'll need to reach the streets. An ascender is your best bet.
Last protocols engaged!
We just push through.
Enemies in sector!
Not pretty, is it? You should try living down here.
You basically need to stop moving in these now. "15 seconds is such a long time. It really is. It seems like such a long time in comparison to like everything else in this game. Right, we've got P9UG, Hugsy, and Easy. Oh no, I want that.
They're coming for you. Send them to hell.
Judgment is here!
Options, interface, okay. Telling people that you can turn on the dog names in the settings is my new, my favorite thing to do now. Because you see him suddenly stop and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that now. Dog applying stacks of bleeds, so good.
On what basis have you reached this conclusion?
Just sent the dog on a 7-mile hike on his own to go and knock this guy on the floor. It's gonna make dealing with snipers so much easier too. Be able to pre-mark snipers from 7 miles away.
Return is not an option.
This is the exact level that I pictured having the dogs for. Zipping through here is exactly where I pictured having the Cyber Mastiff. No treats for this hound. It's gonna be another one of those dumb ones where we're just gonna be marking the enemy over and over.
Hardly. I'm glad to have put my past behind me.
They always say that. It's never true.
Someone's come.
This is exactly what they wanted. This is exactly what they envisioned when they added this dog. Ripped to shreds by hounds. Not even enough time for the song to play. God, that's actually so funny. Picturing them like playing a level and getting to the end and they're all playing strategic in the office and then they watch people's streams like, oh, how are people playing the characters? Ripping them to shreds. It's actually so funny.
Not exaggerate. There's one arch-heretic fewer among the living. May the celebrations begin, etc., etc. I understand that the surviving water cartel have taken the opportunity to remonstrate with the heretics. I do so like a brawl with no winners. But don't even think that you'll be resting on your laurels. You're still scum, but you're useful scum. In fact, I think it's time you introduced yourself to Hadron. I'm sure she's going to simply adore you.
I'll be there, little man. In my own good time.
I'll be there, little man. Access to Malice Threat level assignments granted. Yes! Let's go!
Lord Margrave styles himself Tertian Savior.
They're done, so just... There we go. Shotgun. It's got on spend. Talents. We have to go for toughness. Ammo capacity. Weak spots make the enemy counters staggered. Your Cybermastiff electrocutes enemies it attacks for 5 seconds. Hell yes. So massive counts towards unit coherency. In addition, unit allies in coherency gain additional 7%. That's insane. Part of the squad. Unit allies in coherency gain additional 10% damage versus staggered. That's insane. Part of the squad is insane. Killing pounds targets grants allies in coherency 20% toughness damage reduction and 10% toughness over 5 seconds. Gain 25% damage resistance for 5 seconds after a elite kill. This is actually crazy. Part of the squad is an insane talent. Then toughness. Elites and deals 25% more damage to them. Your priorities range enemies and deals 50% damage to them. That's brilliant. Except it doesn't work with the coherency, so you have to like unleash brutality. Seems better. Cleave, impact. And then oh god, Castigator Stance is gonna be the one. Stance is gonna have to be the one.
The weapons you bear are not mere tools of war. Serving as their custodian offers fulfillment you do not deserve. Steep yourself in the precepts and rituals of Holy Mars. Open yourself to the Omnissiah, and perhaps, Varlet, your diligence will be rewarded. With a glimpse of what these relics once were and might be again. Let us explore the mysteries of the machine god together. After all, we have a little time before your execution. Allow me to maximize the combat potential of your armaments. The work is complete.
Might as well. Might as well. Just like max them. And now I can refine it. So let's see. Groner's Poxworkers Elites. Increase melee damage on specialist. Stamina. Block efficiency. Flak. And Carapace. And then yeah, Flak and Carapace. And then I want to re-bless this. Sustained fire and oh, actually Death Splitter looks pretty good. No, that's about high voltage. Staggered enemies. But no, I need level 2.
A new marvel is awoken.
It's funny to make them orange off the bat.
I will assist.
18 minutes until the shop resets. It is funny to make them orange off the bat though. God, one of the worst missions ever. Death Grips, Warrant K9.
Tonight, you're indulging a bit of anti-hydroponics. Killing the Fates tree and Adblock Larinax. That means getting up-to-the-minute data on the current iteration of the Blight to facilitate the creation of what Magos Kareem calls a blessed unguent of shriving. with some of Tertium's nobility. Rannick's idea, bastard.
Rannick's idea, bastard. Come on, fellas.
Are these ragamuffins red? The best Rannick can provide.
Ragamuffins?
I can vouch for their ability, Excellency.
Your opinion was not courted, novitiate, nor your presence wanted.
I am Interrogator Rannick's protege. He bid me attend.
I'm glad that is sorted. Back to the war.
Go! Great attack! Return route is inaccessible!
Have Draco sighted. It's a bit of an heretic nest these days, Excellencies.
Lord Margrave has always been tolerant of the destitute.
Heresy spreads out of neglect as much as wickedness.
What a great way to encourage other players to start using targeting. It's such a brilliant idea. Make it so that the dog requires you to target enemies, and everyone will start tagging every enemy under the sun.
I fear that this squalor took root before the invasion.
These people were abandoned. We should not repeat the mistake.
Oh, gotta go round. So we've got Pollux, Rex, Razor Chic.
Door accessed.
Right, this quarantine zone should be familiar.
Not followed by the score, judge them all!
Eyes peeled.
Scan zone reached. Deploy your servos, go and be careful what you touch.
Jesus Christ.
Yugi charging! Target down! Yugi!
Let's see what a servo skull finds.
Alright, maybe 15 seconds isn't that long of a time. Because that felt like for a while it didn't activate.
This is where you need to be. I hope you brought your auspexes.
The scan is complete! What now?
You won't find anything else. Upload your data to the servo skull. Still need more data. The skull
Still need more data.
Action seeker deployed!
Pick up.
Fences and elbows. Get it done.
The dog knocks the other dog off. That's so good. Actually brilliant. A major counter to pox sounds.
I believe that comprises all the samples in this area.
Oh my god.
Combat stinks.
The Lex demands forthright action.
Lex breakers understand no other language.
The door is open. Proceed. Proceed upwards!
Find the despoilers of this, your domain.
This is sick. I'm so much fun. Lurking and working. Hi, Biggie. Enjoy your lurking and working.
The interrogator's will is his own, Excellency. I do but serve.
Stand fast. We are a match for even this. Perfect time.
Let's go!
Your operatives are somewhat more effective than I expected.
Can't speak to that, Excellency. Maybe you should take it up with Rannick or Zola. They're always happy to talk.
Passing off having a yap.
And block Larinax. And hostiles inbound. Let's put on a good show, team.
There's nothing to stir the blood like the slaughter of heretics.
Holy throat! Such abhorrence! Strike team.
This big tree's looking at me.
Are now capable of
Oink.
delivering the blessed unguent of shriving. Deploy them and stand by.
Right. Hang tight until the injection cycle's complete. Don't get killed.
Watch how it is done, Lexmate!
Oh, still loud. Still too loud. Woo! Rex. Pollux. Good name. Thanks, dog. Woohoo! Well, that's cool. You can actually see the thing like breaking out of it. Oh, it's loud. Oh, it's loud. Not an happy tree. Ranick! Woo, another penance! Let's go! Fight the good fight, enforce with the Lex and Arbitrator. Oh, so good. Hey, we're missing a guy. We're not the combat shotgun. Transmission received.
That one got a bit hairy by the end, didn't it? Still, he went in, did the job, and got out alive. Not everyone does. Chances are you won't next time. That phage tree's a nasty business, but you've given us the keys to a permanent solution. At least, so Karib says. Not that I understand every second word he uses. Either way, you've put Wolfer's nose out of joint, and that makes this a good day, whatever comes next.
We've unlocked some new war gear, but we've also unlocked some new clothes.
Let me guide you in the act of penance.
Ooh, Defender of the Lex. A new gun that's better than mine? Bull. No, a worse frame, loadout wise, curios, add one of them in for extra toughness. Cosmetics wise, I do insignia that don't need. Talents wise, 1 talent. Crazy.
Tell me of your deeds.
Right, shop should have reset, so we should be able to
How may this humble unit assist you?
have a look at what we've got to offer. 55 seconds. Oh, we can wait a minute, and then we'll go to the next shop. Oh, my stomach. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Oh.
They still alive? Then the rest don't matter.
Oh, my stomach hurts. Right.
Engaging.
A new shock maul, axes, a 90 shock maul. Compare that to what I'm already using. Mine's already better, so not too fussed. We're using the shotgun. That's not going to outpace mine at the moment, no matter what. That's not either. That's definitely not. I don't really have to worry about guns or anything. It's curios, max health over wounds, I guess. Not wounds, toughness. Right, let's just throw that to max.
The tools of war are the tools by which the Omnissiah
So,
will reshape.
1, 2, 3.
Praise the Omnissiah.
Refine it. Combat ability regen. Fine. Damage resistant snipers is going to be perfect.
It is done.
And 10% experience. First of many. So stacked on orange gear. That's literally going to survive me for ages. Well, I go marks now. We also have the other mark for this. I don't know what that does outside of anything. Masteries. Still level 8. We need to get back out there.
Still pulling together the troops for that business down in Slab Zone 79. I'll let you know when it's done.
Put down charge. Down charge.
Admonition have gained control of a complex transmission station in the Hourglass. Its heretical broadcasts are undermining morale in that region, and even causing some to question.
We'll probably do like 1 or 2 more missions. Go to about 10:30, or probably 1 more mission. Go to about 10:30ish, and then we'll be ending stream. That gives us a good nearly 3-hour stream doing this, and it means we'll be back on Wednesday with more Warhammer Wednesday, where we'll play some more. We haven't forgotten about Oblivion. We will be finishing Oblivion. We might be doing some rematch tomorrow.
You are not welcome here.
Though we might save rematch for the weekend.
I've seen the intel reports. Which are you? Earl of Garkle? Cathoris Grinnell? Mox Arian? Eli Barthos?
My name is not for you.
Augustine Zola. I see your heart, and it is empty.
Veiled threats don't frighten me.
Oh.
I am a herald of rebirth, and you will come crawling, weak, begging.
Oh, the pitter-patter back and forth.
Make your way through the consulate until you reach the old ventilation outflow. Move with
Top tier patter on the go here. The grandfather Nurgle. You what?
What do we care for the words of a blind woman, drowning in her own false piety?
Now we fight!
God, it's just such a walk through the park, this character.
You are a native of Atoma, are you not? Hard to believe that we have not crossed paths before.
It's a big world, and I do not consort with heretics.
Is that doubt I hear? Perhaps you are not as blind as I thought.
I expect I'll mourn you
Draken,
when the Blockfodder kill you,
Rabius, and Xiang.
but not for long.
When I die, I will be in the hands of the Judge of Terra.
This is a one-way drop.
This is the ventilation access point. You'll need to restore the power to activate the turbine rig.
God, that's such a bait setup. The bomber was eliminated. Thanks, dog. Up we go. Fans can and will kill you. I learned that the hard way. Loving hearing them go, something good for the collection, ah! As they get like, blasted.
We will have no retreat after this.
Reload your weapon. Teach you proper protocol. Hear my decree!
Well,
Can you say the same?
that's one way to defeat big beasties.
Most gratifying. Ammo! Concentration team! Stairs! That inside! Take cover!
To think you were so nearly one of us. Perhaps you may yet be so.
God, it's so funny just walking through an area and just blasting.
Use those specimens! Close away!
Assistant!
The rot sets in! Neutralize! Top dead! Follow me! This way!
Closing to assault ring!
Alex Imperialis claims you! Guarding ammunition is a crime! The people of this world do not respect the lakes. Such foul disorder. It's the only nice they desire. Get it! Weapons spent!
Let's get this done.
Get it! I require ammunition!
Greed for ammo.
Lay down your weapons. All are welcome in the Grandfather's sight.
Don't waste your breath. My operatives are loyal. They die for me and I for them.
Then we shall be sure to give you the
Oh, look at this beastie! Go on then, lad. Open up.
The demon of the sands will not permit you passage.
It's nothing we can't handle.
There we go.
Place in the good Empress light.
You need to kill all of them to make this work.
Oh, you can one pop it. That's great.
You've driven it back. The bridge should respond now.
Ammo to be acquired.
Fella's like, there's a big squishy. Let me put my head in front of it. Pox Flamer in shambles then.
Our message cannot be stopped. It is the truth.
Time for football game? Oh, am I being summoned to football? I'll play some football third. Let me get out of this and then, yeah. This is my last level now. I'll play some football for a bit. I'm not very good, but I'll play. Just saying it's ready. Ooh! If you want to play after this, I'll play for a little bit. This is silly, the amount of dogs. This is so fucking silly. I love it. Come on! Oh, man. Come on then! All the dogs have little good boy names. Come on, let's run. Come on, Dread. Come on. Oh, 11, 8, 8, and 13. Surely I should level really quick from this. I like all the dogs clipping through everyone's legs. Because there's so many of us. 9. Nearly 10. Axe. Bolter pistol. Decent order dockets. Gun. And 2 levels. Fuck yeah. By the decree of the Adeptus Ministratum.
And so the heretic Voxcast falls silent, and the blessed word is restored. Still, you achieved your usual glorious body count. Seriously, I'm almost very slightly impressed. But if we ever doubted the presence of some kind of cult on Tertium, we can consider those doubts laid to rest. This bears careful consideration indeed. Given your performance, I've cleared you for access to Sir Melk's Requisitorium. Do make yourselves useful to him.
Nice. Let's just quickly run through and do this so we get the next cutscene out the way, and then we'll pick up from on Wednesday for Warhammer Wednesday.
Recon teams, Wormwood agents, and loyal citizens risk their lives delivering vital intelligence. It's dangerous work, but the Imperium is built on the blood of martyrs. Sire Darius Melk is responsible for collating and analyzing these reports, identifying priority targets, supply lines, and transitory weaknesses in the traitor war machine.
Ooh, interesting. Let's crack it off.
The benefits of the tasks he asks you to undertake may not immediately be clear, but like Mobian steel, triumph is
Like
forged with many
Mobian steel.
elements. Strength, certainly. Courage, of course. Faith, above all.
Faith above all.
But to have any hope of victory, we must also be clever.
You may address me as Sire Melk. I have
Hello,
been
Sire
long in
Melk.
Inquisitor Grendel's service.
Oh, nice. Finally
I
got
can assure you
tasks.
that he relies
Limited time
upon
acquisitions. Toughness.
If you visit me,
Oh, he's offering me dirt cheap crap.
I will gladly furnish you with a mission.
I'm so glad he's offering me dirt cheap rubbish. Missed acquisitions. Well, that's fine. I don't want any of it. Berkshire. That's a good dog name. Ed 209, Balbo, Bloodbad, Princess. Oh, somebody named their dog Princess. Iron Death. Man, it makes me feel like calling mine Death Grips. I see treats. I see treats. I see treats. Barking at trees. I see treats. I see treats. Arlo. Oh my god, brilliant. Oh. Oh man. Right. Let's change ourselves over to rematch. Rematch. I'm gonna put my title as World's Worst Goalie has scored 0 own goals. Kick my Xbox controller into gear. Play. So, do I have you on Xbox? I assume not. Let me find some ambient music to put on in the background for a sec. Man, are you also Big Dick Johnson? Because that was Kip yesterday when I made my guess. It's third dinner. Who'd have guessed? The tutorial is actually quite useful. Not something you'd hear me say very often. But the controls are a bit weird. Which voice channel should we hang out in third if we're gonna do this? Do you want to hang out in the Ghost Tank or should we hang out in Cook? In fact, we'll hang out in Cook because if somebody else wants to join.
Stop right there, crooked scum.
God, this 2K streaming is like killing my PC, I swear. Makes it so laggy.
Ignore me getting on the wrong fucking server. Ignore that.
It's fine. My stream deck has just completely died. I'm pretty sure it's not working properly right now. Let's close that. Let's close that. Let's close that. Let's close that. Don't need Steam open. I can't even see Steam's icon right now. So broken is. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I did some manual labour today, and in the process, I hurt myself twice. As you do.
Oh yeah. As you do.
Next door neighbours having a new fence put in. Moving a giant stone slab that's going on the bottom of it and just scraped it across my stomach. A nice long cut all across me.
I remember you saying in your stream, yeah, that you managed to hurt yourself like a silly boy.
Let's go!
Right, there we go. Customize myself a little bit. Immediately into the customization.
Yep. That's what I did straight away. I have a modern McDonald on the go.
Look at that. Fuck yeah. Nice, cool.
You can have prosthetics, you can go shoeless and sockless.
Equipamente.
I'm gonna readjust it to it like a gamer stance as well. Man, it's gross how this game's got its hooks in there. It's silly fun.
It is. Even just like the little prologue, it was fun.
It's fun until a guy stalls and you're moving the ball about, and then you want to like break his ankles.
Yeah.
And then sleep
That's
with the
gonna be
coach's
great.
wife
Can't wait.
and all that sort of stuff.
I can't wait to sleep with the coach's wife.
It's a mini game.
Did I manage to add you? Did it work?
I hope so.
It said something went wrong. Let's try that again.
You did have your name in red. I don't know if that means anything.
It might mean that I haven't added you.
Maybe.
Find friends. Where are my friend requests? Just do it in the Xbox app because fuck it.
Yeah. Windows key and G. It's the shortcut to bring up the Xbox overlay.
Yeah, but it's not working. It's not working.
Oh,
it's not fucking working.
It's not perfect, I'll give you that. 30 saves as a goalkeeper, 30 goals, run 42 kilometers, plus some lungs. Perform 100 saves as goalkeeper, reach level 10, 30 assists, win 30 matches in game mode, 100 goals, 170 kilometers, 30, 100, keep playing to unlock. Deliver an assist that leads to an equalizer. There we go.
I've clicked on add you so many times. Yeah, there we go.
There you go, I've sent you an invite.
Yeah. I do not want this to access my microphone. Fuck this game accessing my microphone. Absolutely not.
I've set it to mute, so if people want to say horrible things, get random, I'm fine with it. Won't get me in trouble.
Yeah. Bully me.
Right.
Okay, cool.
You ready?
Yeah. Am I meant to be able to see you? I can't see you.
You'll see it when it starts in. No, you literally just get the icons in the top corner. I wish it did it. Wait, it did show everyone.
Let's see. I'm connecting to the server. Let's see if this works better than Peak, because my internet is questionable.
They've patched Peak now, so hopefully that'll prevent some of the crashing. Are you in video AMD with your GPU?
NVIDIA. Oh no, why am I in gold? Oh. You get to choose your position.
It's sort of fluid, you can sort of go for whatever you like.
Oh, let's go.
My
Easy.
fault. Sorry. My bad. My fault.
So you can just swap back and forth. As goalie, you get unlimited stamina, and then you get to pick how you're gonna.
Oh, he's got the bloody 69 on. Of course he has.
Yeah, of course he has. He's got his chip shirt on with 69. One of them's already left. Oh, this is so unfair. This is so unfair to them. Oh, he's got techers.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, he has. Oh, he has. There's only 2 of them. What's the third comeback?
Yeah, we got this. Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Who do I think he is with fucking Jack Grealish hair? Fuck off.
Right, I'm staying.
Let's go.
I'll send it up to you.
Oh. I've got the controls when it's in the air.
Let's just kick it at the wall.
Oh, easy. Not easy. Yes!
Let's go! Let's go!
My fault. Sorry.
You just spam it.
I love spamming sorry whenever we we score a goal or we lose a goal. I just hit spam sorry. It's the funniest thing. Listen to the character.
You're such a little shit.
Yeah, it's fun. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Break his legs.
Nice.
Fucking way he was. Oh.
I'll pretty much give it to him then. Oh, unfortunate.
Went the wrong way.
My fault. My bad.
My bad. My fault.
Sorry.
Sorry.
My fault.
My bad.
It's funny getting the characters to say techers too. What's going on with this football? It's hovering for me. Jesus.
Oh, chickens.
Come on, lad. Come on, lad. Come on.
You're a goalkeeper.
Oh my god.
Fucking prick.
He's just
Absolute melon.
Thanks, mate.
You.
My bad.
He was just like slowly walking away and they just gave it to them. He's a paid up.
He is.
When this is done, I'm getting his sponsorship with stake revoked. He'll never gamble in this town again.
Yes, pass it, mate. Oh, that's not a fucking pass, is it?
No, he's just fully sending that.
You got it? Yes, he's got
I
it.
just curved it around him. Go on, go on. Oh,
Ah.
close.
All slid on that one.
No.
Oh, no.
It bounced off you straight in. No.
I know, I know.
Uh-oh. I just went the complete wrong way. I think you grabbed it and just bounced off you. Right, we can pull it back.
We got this.
If Mr. Moore 84 can stay in goals, we'll try and pull it back.
He's not fucking staying in goal, is
press,
he?
press X to, like, pass, or
Hey,
if you do
respects.
right trigger.
Oops.
Fine, I'm just going to send it. Let's just get out.
Controls do
away
take
from
some
him.
getting used to, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
they're odd.
Shoot! Go, Marie! Go!
Oh, I missed completely. So, left trigger when you're as a goalie puts you into like the protection stance. Right, you run forwards, I'm
Right
moving
trigger,
backwards.
playing the fucking controller.
Oh, are you playing keyboard and mouse? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, of course I am.
What's wrong with you?
It's probably so much easier on controller.
I prefer it massively. I tried yesterday off stream with keyboard and mouse. I'm not a fan.
Oh, he's got it. Send it.
Just send it downfield. Did he actually?
Oh,
Let's go!
Sorry. My bad. My fault. Sorry.
Every stream so far I've scored a goal from the goal. Communications spammed disabled for 3 seconds. Ooh. Oh.
I thought for a second. I really thought for a second.
So did I. I was worried.
Back post. Oh, back post. Back post.
I was just toying with them and just sending it over and over. Oh, I should have pressed A then.
Get
Nice. Nice. Break his ankles.
Yes.
Oh, I tried to just like walk it straight off him. Fix it here and do that. Because then
Start again.
Oh god, no stamina! Oh, fuck me, dude. I'm out of stamina. I can't catch him.
No need. No
Nice.
bloody need.
Right, I'm moving back.
Oh, he trusts you. Oh, oh, it's 2 on 1.
Let's go!
Let's go.
My fault. Sorry. My fault. My bad.
Easy.
Mr. Moore at E4 is fully sat there like, what is going on? Why do they keep apologising for scoring?
Oh, sorry. Oh,
sorry. Sorry, scored a goal, sorry. Go on, buddy. Oh, they're learning to pass.
There's more April's not in there.
He's not even here. He's AFK.
Fine, whatever.
Nice. I'm shifting, I'm moving, I'm grooving. Oh, I was way off on that one.
Oh, he's intercepted it.
That's fine. Oh. Has our teammate gone?
Oh,
Am I missing
yeah,
him?
he's
Oh no!
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, unfortunate.
We got this. My fault. Sorry. We got this. My bad.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. We got this. Sorry.
Oh, thanks, mate. Sorry.
Right, I'm gonna stay back in goals. I'll get to midfield, and that's about it. Oh no, that's bad. God, just take it and just run.
Oh, how do I do the rainbow flick?
Right bumper and A, I think is how you do it.
Oh, right bumper.
Oh, that got me scared then.
Ah, boo. Last shot. Ah, boo.
Nice try, nice try.
I'll take that. I'll take I'll take a 5-4 loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, they got MVP. They didn't have a guy leave. Yeah. Yeah. I am Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Lord.
Lord. I just sent this back in. No breaks, no stopping. Just football. Endless football.
We're watching the football.
I am the football. I am become the ball. Oh. So, potentially good news, I'll find out by the end of the week, I may be able to attend your event.
Oh, let's go.
Try my hardest. All depends on if I can get a dog sitter for an evening. Me, the
yeah,
dog
that's fair
sitter,
enough.
looking to get somebody, getting another dog sitter for an evening. Because it's like 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back, and then some bobbing about during the day. But I'm off. It'll be the only thing I'm doing in my 6 weeks off, so.
Yeah, nice. Oops. I keep on accidentally throwing it in like a really weird direction.
Yeah,
because of,
it's
like,
it's
the way
really
it's like
odd
a
to get
mouse
used
flick.
to. Yeah. Oh,
Who's got it?
Techers! Oh! Pass it back to you. Just send it. Oh. I was off.
That was such a dramatic
so
dive
much.
for nothing.
Yeah. Let's go!
Easy.
Sorry, my bad. My fault.
How long until we get our other guy saying sorry too? We can peer pressure him, but just keep doing it.
Is that work? Yeah.
But now staying goals. Started there holding on to the ball. Oh, thanks. Nice to that guy. Go on, third. Come on, third. Let's go!
Look at that.
My bad.
Look at that.
Sorry. My bad.
13 seconds. Chat communications info.
You've been blocked.
Borko just like, did you say butt fucked?
Yeah, but fuck, yeah. We're just like slowly drifting around us.
Yeah, I like this guy just like really taking his time. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Are they trying to actually... Let's run the
Yeah.
clock down. It's fine.
That works in our favour.
It's like it counts as an interception for me.
Yep. Oh. This is laggy AF. I'm not dropping any frames, which is weird.
That's good.
But it could also be that you might be watching it at 2K. Because I had somebody else say that it was sitting at that table. I'm getting no notifications about like any issues.
Easy.
It's just on mobile. Weird. Oh. On PC it's fine. So yeah, it's probably the 2K thing. Go on, tap X. Nice.
Tap X.
X was your grab.
I'm on it.
Oh.
Mine! Get fucked. You're scoring on me.
Here. Pass to me.
Oh, if that had gone in.
It wasn't meant to be a shot, or it was meant to be a pass, I swear.
Oh. Them doing backwards passes is crazy. Nice, nice, nice.
So high Borko.
This is gonna know how to pass over. I'm spending more time on their side of the pitch than that, was
Oh, easy. Oh, look at it.
Oh, it was never gonna happen. Yeah, dog water Twitch app. It's true.
Such dramatic.
I'm Ronaldo McDonaldo. Yes, it's true. I am Ronaldo
Ronaldo McDonaldo.
Oh.
Me.
Apparently I intercepted that, but it didn't touch the ball at all. I don't know how I intercepted it.
Could be in there, you know. The afro.
Let's go!
My fault. Sorry. My bad. My fault.
My fault.
Free Big Mac for everyone! My corporate sponsor is McDonald's, you know. Just have to, you know, everyone knows. We just stand here for a second, it's fine. Let's fucking go!
Smashed him.
They're just playing cocky. They're trying to play it slow and like trying to make us like rush to them. But I'm stubborn. I'm gonna sit here and just be like, oh no, I'll just hang back here. Oh my god. Easy, easy. Look at him with his custom stance. Oh.
he's paid money. What a loser.
He's enjoyed his time in this game too much.
Toolkit wanker.
Capca MVP. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. His interceptions were really good.
I will give him that.
Yeah, should have been me, but you know. Hey Porco, do you want to join?
Welcome to join Porco if you want.
If you want to join us, we're only in Coke right now. And this game's on Game Pass. You do not. Fair enough. I sent it back in.
No, fuck you guys. Okay. Alright.
I say how it is. It's fine. It's fine. So, Peak apparently sold 1 million copies in its first 6 days.
Jesus. Yeah, okay, so they're completely overwhelmed.
Yeah. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Even though I still would not. Wow.
See how it is.
Yeah, I see what it is.
To me.
Oh, as if I just passed that over to him. What the fuck? Sending that across. Yeah, just send to our teammate, yeah? Yeah? Just leave a goal. Oh, I shouldn't have curved it then.
You should have curved it.
Awful, awful. I had no idea. I don't know football terms. I'm a Birmingham City fan. I don't know football.
What a shot.
Come on, J-Dog. Oh, that looked like it went in then. Oh. Oh. Scared him though. Nice.
It's funny when you try to do skills and just immediately get their legs chopped.
Yeah.
Nice.
If a footballer breaks their legs, you have to put it down like a horse.
Oh yeah, I would.
To me.
Alright, I'm gonna go leg breaking then. Oh.
Nice. I'm doing it for points.
Oh, unfortunate.
Good job. Thanks. Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks, mate. Stay sharp.
My bad. My fault.
Thanks.
I mean, it's, you know, I have worse goals on my stream than that. Way worse.
Here.
Oh, is he gonna? Go on, just send it. Let's go.
I don't want to pass this guy at all.
My fault.
I got confidence in him.
Yeah, me too, but he's a prick. I've decided.
Decided you hate him.
I've decided I hate him.
He's the Jamie Tart of our football team.
Exactly, he is.
Oh. They play like an organised team. I hate this. Because at one point they're going to try and score a goal and we're going to let it in. What the fuck? I was tapping Y and it just was like, no, you're just going to walk slowly.
Thank you.
Hello?
Sorry, my bad.
Thank you.
I'm absolutely at a loss what happened there.
Well, what happened is they shot and they scored. Just like, oh.
Thanks, mate.
To me!
To me.
Oh.
Pass.
Go on then, mate.
Come on, J-Dog. Come on, J-Dog.
Have you?
Come on, Jamie.
Cross. Yeah,
Jamie, J-Dog talk. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on, mate. Come on, mate. That close.
Oh.
Thanks.
God, just kick him in the ankle so hard his mum feels it. Come on, Jamie, J-Dog. 428, 965. Kind of hoping they'd miss it, but you know.
So you just try that every single time.
Yeah, every time. Ghost and Kip told me off for it, but you know, I've had my one goal from the goal this match. A man can dream. Nice. Pro footballer unsure I kick the ball in the opposition's goals more frequently than they kick it into mine. True. True, Porco. True.
Becoming a footballer just so I can have my balls kicked.
You have to become a footballer to do that. Nice. Let's go.
My bad. My fault.
The Roy Kent of our team.
Yeah.
Roy the third dinner Kent. I don't know why I added the to your name. Every time I say your name, I always add the third dinner. I don't know why.
The third dinner.
The
Well,
third
how many
dinner.
other third dinners are there?
I don't know. Oh,
Come on, Jamie, you got this.
that ball was all over the fucking place. I'm getting out of here. Oh, oh no!
Just all
I'm
there.
sending it. I'm just sending it away. Get this shit ball away from my fucking goal. My stamina, so I can't do anything. Nice.
Yeah.
Just send it. So what their goalie does to this. Oh, I'm just gonna charge it.
To me.
Come on, Jamie. Come on, Jamie. Jamie, you left the ball behind. Jamie.
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 No, Jamie.
Jamie, what are you doing?
Oh, Porker, please do.
Come on, Jamie. Come on.
Come on, Jamie.
Come on, Jamie. Come on, Jamie. Come on, Jamie.
He's gonna go for it. He's gonna miss. Let's go.
My stamina's I can't even chase. Nice. Just you could have just sent it straight to their goal then.
I could have done.
There's nobody home.
Here.
I went to pass it to J-Dog because apparently he's the best player at this game and has to do everything himself. See, this is why I hate him. He is just Jamie's heart.
Nice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not praising him. Oh, unfortunate.
Wrong button.
Yeah, we'll take turns kicking you in the balls. I'll wear a soft padded shoe. I'm not gonna be mean.
Just completely open. Oh, they're a fucking... Look at them.
Yeah, look at them. MVP as well. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
God, I really did nothing that much in comparison. One save, some intercepts, and a pass.
He's out with all of his intercepts just because he's fucking...
He was just there all the time. It's crazy that ranked isn't unlocked until level 5. Way later.
Got to grind to level 5 now.
I need to see like what rank Slag is, and then play through rank to see if I can like catch up to him.
Has he been playing a lot?
He keeps rage quitting because he's playing ranked. He hates ranked. Wait, we've got the Marines with us. Fellas, it's a squad of 3 here. It's a squad of 3 versus us in a random.
My bad.
And we can't communicate with them.
My fault. Sorry.
Just bear back it as you're kicking him. See, I'm wearing my socks.
Square it. Keepers!
How do I do the flick? I forgot to do the flick.
Right bumper and A. I don't know how you do it with the keyboard.
Ah.
I was hoping he wasn't paying
send it.
attention.
I'm on
then.
it.
Really was hoping he wasn't paying attention.
I got it.
I think I did. 30 saves as a goalkeeper. Let's go.
To me.
Come on, Marines. Come on, Marines. I'm leaving you. I mean, don't literally come on, Marines, unless you want to, but like, you know what I mean. Cotton. Ooh.
Oh man. It wasn't a very powerful shot, you know. Yes, go on, Marines.
Go on, Marines. Oh, unlucky. Unlucky. We're just going to keep setting him up. He can score his goals. This is the one for the Marines. They keep advertising me on Twitch.
To me. Here.
They weren't expecting this.
Let's go!
My fault. Sorry. We got this.
What a setup.
What a setup.
We did that yesterday with Kim. Sent it back to him and he sent it forwards and then sent it just to confuse them.
Yes. Yes, ducks. Square it.
Come on, Marines, go back. Marines, go back. We've got nobody in goals. Marines! Marines, why are you so forward?
Marines!
My fault.
My fault.
It was like 9 miles ahead of where you needed to be. It was playing in a different stadium.
Typical sweeper keeper.
Ridiculous. Look at him. He's like he's trying to grab the other guy's nipple. Ridiculous.
Pass.
I'm just I was just
Right.
gonna keep on running.
Yeah, you just keep running. I'm gonna run back to goal then. Before he comes flying this way.
Oh. Why am I saying cross like that? Hang on. How do I call for a cross?
To me.
Send it. There you go.
Sorry.
Let's go.
My fault. Sorry.
It's a good celebration. A good celebration. Just pelt off another player. Give him a massive bruise. He's just running it through the middle. Come on. Nice.
Ah. My legs. Come on, Marines.
Oh, Marines has got techers.
Marines.
Go on, just send it from there so I can catch it. Go on, just send it from there. I'm scared.
Damn it. No. Oh, what a look.
Oh!
Oh, look at him go.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
Not having that no ear. No ear? Near ear. This is my safe space. I'll protect it with my life.
Fuck.
Come on, Marines.
Yes.
Come on,
Come on,
Marines.
Marines. I believe in
Come
the
on,
Marines.
Marines. Marines, what are you doing?
Oh.
I'm sending
Marines
it.
believes in you.
I just don't know what he was thinking. Do you want to stall for 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, we're going to win it in overtime.
Oh.
You got it.
I'm on it.
One day at work.
Mate, it's worked once already. This is the day it worked.
Fine. I'm on it.
Go on, Marines.
My
You got
bad.
this. Apparently, or not. Okay.
Marines doesn't want to push. He's scared. He's about trying to mark the other guy. Nice. That was a good intercept. Marines is all up on my grill.
I don't know how they're doing these little like side steps and stuff.
Keepers.
Oh,
Come on,
nice.
Marines.
Come on, Marines.
Oh, Marines is going for it.
Oh.
Yes, Marines. No Marines.
I'm starting to think Marines have paid off.
I'm starting to think.
It's a player
think that
for
as
North
well.
Korea. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh! Close one, Marines. So close.
Go on. Very nice. Very nice.
Easy.
His teammate massively confused him running across there.
Yeah.
Right, Marine,
I don't know what
stay
they're
in the
trying to do.
fucking goal. Just stay near the fucking goal.
Marines is still in the goal. I can assure you that.
Don't run forwards.
Sorry, I might just slide tackle
No, it's
you.
fine. It's fine. I just missed the side tackle on him. Marines, nice your
What leg?
chance. Grab it. There you go. What a lad. He's learning.
Marines.
Oh, he gets the stamina back.
Wasn't as much curve there as I thought there was.
As long as they don't score, we've won this.
Sorry.
Win these
My
dubs.
bad.
Just send it. Just send it. Oh, I didn't get a chance to just send it then. Let's go. Alright, Marines gets MVP.
He fucking doesn't. I got a hat trick. Let's go.
Supporting my Marines. Supporting my Marines.
I get a goal and an assist. How did I assist myself? I assisted myself by existing.
Yeah, you know. I got an assist too. I helped somewhere.
Oh.
I was helping. I promise. I promise.
I'm gonna go load up my chicken burgers. Be right back.
Oh. You gotta be quick. We got Denny. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Third. 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 Oh. It's the worst sign to have got a chicken burgers. That class is the worst goal. Oh no. Oh, fucking sending it.
Okay, what I miss?
You let a goal in. You were in goal and I passed the ball to you. You just held it, dropped it, then just kicked it through your feet in. It was so fucking funny. Oh, oh, no.
It was worth it for the chicken burgers.
Sent it downfield for you. I got faith in Denny. He's just stood still right now, though. They really like that corner. I'm starting to notice they really like these corners. Oh, I was too far forward that I only jumped.
Damn it.
Illuminati Junior.
Sorry, my bad. My fault.
You had to wipe him out. Come on, Denny.
Pass.
Oh, straight to his feet. Oh, Denny, mate. Denny, what were you doing? Where were you?
Denny.
Not again, third. Not again. Not again, third.
I drew them in. No, we had time.
Yeah, we had plenty of time.
Okay.
Okay. Goalie? Where were you?
Ебаные животные, блядь.
Chicken burger.
Два ебаных животных.
Oh, the guy's talking in French. He's really not happy. Oh. He really wasn't happy that he lost then. He really wasn't
How do I
happy.
bring up the chat? How do I type chicken burger in the chat?
There isn't a chat you can type in.
What the fuck?
I know.
2025 and I can't abuse kids online?
Nope, not anymore.
Hang on. Wait a minute. Wait a second. You don't have to report me for that.
Things said to other people's streams can be used against you. What do I get for being level 5 other than ranked matchmaking? I was wondering if I get some new cosmetics, but I don't think I do. To regain stamina, lower your speed. Rash mitten. Oh. Come on, Rash mitten.
Pass off.
Scaring them. Oh.
There's no goalie.
Oh no. Oh, we're fine.
Okay.
We're fine. We're fine. That was a scary moment then. Bet he's killing himself. I can't believe he messed that one up.
Back pose.
Go on, pass it. Pass it, Rash. Oh, Rash, no.
Oh. I've got the stamina to stop him. I'm gonna stop pulling hair. Sticking my finger in their ear and stuff like that.
Ignore that.
Come on, Rashmitten. Come on. Come on, Rashmitten. Oh, I was about to kick that goalie in the head then.
So that was lucky that you got that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very generous with the goalie.
It is.
To me.
Oh.
To me.
To me. To you.
To me.
Go on. Oh.
Oh, it's so close to that. There's no chance. That wasn't good in anyway. Come on, Rashmitten. Come on, Rashmitten. Come on, Rashmitten.
Run.
I wasn't in place. Tell me we send it third. Send it back to you. Send it down again.
Yeah. Super keeper, super keeper.
Oh.
The dipper.
Oh. Oh. We got very lucky. I don't want this goalkeeper privileges. I'm just gonna send it up to him. Come on, Rash. Come on, Rashmitten.
He's got it.
We're evenly matched right now. Come on, Rash. You can do this.
Oh, beautiful. What defending.
Oh. It was a risky move, but it paid off. Send it back to you.
What was that?
The bicycle kick. Oh,
how this is 0-0, I don't know.
This is the most intense match I've had so far. It's so equally balanced. Oh. Nice. You're MVP. Just keep it together.
Come on, Rash. Yes,
Come on, Rash. Come on, Rash. Oh.
They bottle it in the final third.
Oh, that should have gone in. Ridiculous. Oh. I'll send it. Come on, Rash. He's setting you up. Come on, Rash. Come on, Rash. Rash. Rash.
Yeah, get it. What?
Let's go. Let's go.
My fault.
20 seconds we've got to hold off without letting a goal in. That has been the most intense match so far. It's so equally balanced, with nothing going on. This is what they pay to see. Oh.
Are you kidding me? Did he just run out of goal or something?
My fault. Sorry. My bad.
I think you did.
Who's our keeper?
It wasn't me. I wasn't back there. I was... Rash, stay in fucking goal. Stay in goal for a second, Rash. Just...
Swear it.
Oh, man, I went for the pass.
Damn it.
Oh, I tried to intercept them, didn't work. Come on, Rash. Come on, Rash. Oh. Come on, Rash, pick it up. Just send it.
Oh, no, you got it still.
Oh, no, I don't.
This is genuinely intense.
I know, it's so equally matched.
Oh, man. Getting my legs chopped.
Sending back and forth. This is scary. Really want to win this so bad. My hands are sweating. Catch it, Rash. Nice.
Cross, bus.
I'm just gonna gun it. Oh! Oh my God! 2 off the. No!
Sorry. My bad. My fault.
Oh, how could we have seen that coming? It hit the post twice. Hit the post and went in. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because of that, Rash got us relegated. Yeah, he got us relegated. We're out now.
Unbelievable.
Ridiculous. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Alright, I'm gonna do like 1 or 2 more and then I'm gonna go.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know how, like, my streams just ended with me playing this back to back recently. I'm proper in that like hunched gamer stance of like controlling between my legs, leaning forwards, looking straight into the screen. Tetro, what a good name. A lot of people with 420 in their name as well, I'm noticing. Right, do you think these two play together?
Uh-oh.
To me. Pass.
Ooh. Tetro, get in place. Where were you, lad?
Calling for the bloody ball and then he weren't even there.
Oh, he got me. He got me. Nice.
Cross it!
I can get it in fast.
Oh, I have to admit, that was a pretty good goal from him. I'll give him credit.
My fault. Sorry. My bad.
With the name like Scream, you know, gotta be good for something. Tetro, what the fuck are you doing? Just started running away from the ball. Fella doesn't want to be in goals, right? I'll trade. I'll have a match in goals.
Yeah.
That's it downfield for you. Nice.
My fault.
Assisted.
Sorry. My bad. My fault.
I'm happy I got that assist.
Fucking turned him.
Deliver an assist that led to an equaliser. Let's go. Another achievement.
Go.
Come on.
Sorry. My bad. My fault.
My signature.
Sorry.
Oh my god. They're gonna be so pissed off. They're like, oh fuck's sake. That's actually hilarious. I'm going back in goals. We're trading out. Third, push forwards. Third, get out of goals! I know the...
Chicken burger. Oh, it's end-to-end stuff.
Oh,
you fucker.
lucky.
Nice.
Oh, way out. Oh, living life in fear. Oh, unfortunate. Jump too late.
My bad. My fault. Sorry. My bad.
Scream again. He's, you know. Who was that really famous footballer that everyone really liked? Who I think's died now. What's his name? Not Messi. Oh my god, what's his name?
Footballer that's died.
No. I'll go with Diego Maradona. Tetro, what was that, bro?
Is he gonna pass?
No, he's just gonna get... Doesn't know what button passes. Oh, wait. Pele. I was thinking of Pele. Of all the footballers.
Oh, okay. Oh my god.
I'm scared. Oh, why did it go forwards? I pressed left. Alright, what about Nobby Styles? I'll reference Nobby Styles. I've just got a list of names on my phone now.
To me.
Pass!
Come on, Tetro, it's your chance to prove yourself. Hey, he doesn't know how to pass.
No, he's not gonna have to pass.
I just don't know how to properly intercept either because I suck ass. Oh.
Guys, the ball wasn't moving. Let's go.
Contact, Joe. Oh. Yours.
Yeah, I don't want to pass this guy. Conduct.
Oh, straight into his fucking leg. Oh my god.
Right, keepers.
Send it away.
Not away.
What? Fucking sending it. Get it out of here. For a moment, we had definitely one too many goalkeepers in there. Too many cooks in this kitchen.
Too many cooks in this kitchen. I'm gassed.
Too many cooks. Too many cooks. Yeah, I live in fear of this guy.
Oh.
Stay
Send
sharp. Well
Send
done.
I got it.
Thanks.
Tetra, it was like open for you straight away and he just missed it. Nice. Oh, no. Unfortunate.
That's yours. It's yours.
Just want to get it away from our goal as much as possible. Keep them running up and down the pitch. Come on, Tetro.
Oh, you're serious. You're fucking serious. Cross.
There's no way I was getting that across, but I have any stamina. Alright, move on to stamina.
To me.
Yeah,
to me.
Oops. Well, I blame the mouse for that. No one fucking wants it. No one fucking wants it.
To me. My fault.
Back post. Back post.
It's like back post over and over again.
Cross it.
Oh. My stamina. Oh, unfortunate. Unfortunate. Oh. I'm gonna have to call that one the last one. I'm gonna have to go on a loss. Just slid under it. You're like, nah, I'm not touching this ball. It's gross now. Oh. I have to see if Ghost and Kip will play this on Friday. We can play again on Friday because we can do 4s. We can actually go up to 5, so we can go up to 5 people.
Lovely. What a game.
What a game. Alright. Back home, system, quick game. I guess I better raid out then. Oh shit.
I guess you better.
I guess I better raid out into someone who's live. Who's live? I think I know who, because I saw Alexis alive earlier with some Elden Ring. Let's go. Oh, thank you for joining me third. Fishing football. Fishing football.
Football.
Football. It's coming home.
Right.
It's coming home. Alright. I'm going to send my 2 viewers over, which is probably